Dr. Leslie Guice is president, the 14th, I believe, president of Louisiana Tech. Hey, Dr. Les, welcome to Kiel. How you doing this morning?
Well, good morning. I'm glad to be able to visit with you.
Been a hell of a couple of days. Can you just give us an update? I was going to say, how are you doing? But when I say you, I mean the
Louisiana
body that
Tech
is,
family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're all one. That's for sure. Well, we're doing great. You know, we had a really good day, a productive day yesterday, and dealing with some of the immediate aftermath issues. And so we're up early this morning, getting planning and trying to take advantage of these next 2 or 3 days before we get back and convene in school on Monday. But the spirit is really good here on our campus, and a lot of that goes to all of the encouragement and support that we've received from so many.
Doc, we're hearing that some of the dormitories suffered some heavy damage. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, we've had about 30 buildings across campus that have received some sort of damage already. Essentially all of our residence halls received some type of damage with windows. I mean, we had some really high winds, and windows were damaged, and some roofs and other things around these residential facilities. Fortunately, they're still able to be occupied. We had some contractors come in yesterday and put wood up over windows that needed to be protected and things like that. So we're doing good, and we're also making space for students that live off campus and housing that was destroyed. We had a lot of housing near the campus that doesn't belong to us, but our students are there, and so we've been offering to support them and house them on the campus through the short term here.
How are you finding spaces for them?
Well, we've had, a little bit of space available. We've been transitioning some of our older dormitories into some new residential facilities, and so some of that space is available, and that's partially what we've been able to offer them at this point. And then a few people have moved out during the spring, and so as those spaces are available, we make them available to others.
Doc, I can't help but think, we lost a mother and her son. This could have been really far worse in terms of we could have lost a lot of students in this storm, correct?
Oh, it is just incredible, the track that this thing took. I'm sitting up in Wiley Tower right now, the 16th-floor structure. The tornado came within 100 yards of Wiley Tower, which is right in the core of our campus. But fortunately, it was just a little bit north of that, and it really saved a lot of damage and a lot of lives. I mean, the residential facilities were full, and if that storm had just been a little closer to the ground, or it could have been devastating. So we're grateful. We're very sorry for the loss of the family in this community, and our students have even been reaching out. They want to help support that family in need, which happens to be a Grambling State student, and we're very concerned about that.
I was looking at it. In fact, I'm looking at a headline right here. It says sports complex suffers extensive damage. That seems to be the number one headline about the damage on campus. Comment on that a little bit, and I know it's still early, but has there been a number put on the amount of damage done?
So, the athletics facilities, certainly have been damaged beyond use. Our baseball field, our softball complex is just destroyed. Fortunately, we only have one other home series for both baseball and softball to get through. But both of our teams are doing really good, and you think of the emotional impact to those students, and both of them are competing, at the top of their conference and have a good chance to go forward. But they were out yesterday cleaning up the baseball fields, cleaning up the softball fields, and saying, how do we build and go forward? So there's extensive damage to that in the soccer complex. We can rebuild or fix those things, and so we'll deal with that. But I'm not sure of the total amount of damage, but it's certainly in the tens of millions of dollars of damage here on our campus.
Whoa, tens of millions is what you just said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Doc.
We've had people on campus that have been assessing that yesterday, and so we don't have really solid numbers, but they've been all over our campus, and we know there's a lot of damage around.
Doc, if I can take you back 24 hours, or maybe a little further, What did you awake to yesterday morning? How did you first learn about it? And then when you got out and about, describe what you saw.
Yeah. So my wife and I live in the President's House, which is just north of the stadium, football stadium, and about a little bit before 2 o'clock, we heard the sirens go off, and we got on our television stations and started to track the storm and could see it coming. And so I contacted our chief of police, and we started sending out messages to our students to make sure they were all alerted to it. But and then, you never know, but I heard the storm. I heard trees breaking, and of course, my wife and I were in the closet, got out of there and tried to get information on what was happening, but got a phone call and knew I needed to kind of head over to campus and just kind of see where we were. And students were out walking around on campus in the damage, looking at the damage. Obviously, we were trying to triage everything that we could at that time, but it was a real emotional time for us. And, we were concerned about all the power lines that were down and the potential damage and harm that could cause to our students and others that were there. So it's just a lot of managing it through that process, but it was certainly very emotional for us.
What do you guys need from Shreveporters that want to help? What can we send? We got our last minute or so here. What can we do to help?
People have been overwhelming in their support. Actually, we've had several police units and others from across the region have come in. We've been grateful that we've gotten all of the offers of support from our legislators locally. The governor came in yesterday and offered his full support, and it's got National Guard, and even left his chief of staff, Mark Cooper, here on our campus. And Mark's certainly very familiar with North Louisiana, and so that's going to be a big value to us. But we're appreciative of all that everyone has done. People can go out and check our websites and find out where they can help if they want to continue to help us as we navigate through this.